So we're getting close. Welcome to day 8 of our novena in preparation for Christmas. We have arrived in Bethlehem. St. Joseph was born and raised in Bethlehem. So we can imagine he would be optimistic about finding hospitality among his relatives and friends. All the more so considering that hospitality was considered a sacred duty in the Middle East. What he didn't count on was that the city was already overflowing with visitors who had come there for the same reason he did, the census. Poor Joseph's hopes slowly died as he went over all the little city, leading his holy spouse on the donkey, from house to house and from doorway to doorway, always hearing the same answer: we have no room. We have no room. Sorry, we have no room. No room. Last of all, he went to the inn, only to get the same answer even there. I imagine him finally leaning against a wall, tired and heartbroken, saying, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" But God did not forsake Joseph. God had other plans. Jesus and Mary felt more sorry for Joseph than for themselves, I think we can safely say. After all, the good man was doing it all for them. If only those Bethlehemites realized who they were turning away. They were turning away their long-awaited Messiah, hidden in the womb of that poor young woman sitting modestly on a tired donkey. They turned her away because they didn't know that Christ was in her. It was only the beginning of the sad refusal of the Jewish people to accept him. A refusal that would sadden his heart his whole lifetime and continue down the centuries. He came to his own, and his own accepted him not. And do we see Jesus in the poor, in the sick, in the prisoner? The greater part of the Gentiles also refused him and continue to refuse him, preferring to him their miserable life of sin. The light came into the world, but men preferred the darkness. Like the Bethlehemites, today there are also many Christians who reject Mary because they don't realize they are rejecting Christ in her. Now for a true story. I used to go door to door with the Legion of Mary. A lot of Catholics would open the door and say, "I'm so glad you're doing this." And many non-Catholics were also open to hear what we had to say. But as you can imagine, there were also a lot of people, I don't know if it was a majority, but there were a lot of people who would cut us short with ready phrases like, "We're not religious," or "We're not interested." They didn't know what they were refusing. Sad for Christ, sad for those who reject him, sad for America. Don Bosco said, "God calls 1 out of 3 young people to a priestly or religious vocation. How many say no to him?" Look at the statistics. Do we see 1 out of 3 people becoming priests and religious? Sad for Christ, sad for them, and sad for the church. Now let's come to you and I. How many times does God send us inspirations? Like, "Wouldn't it be better to do your work now? You don't need to see that video. Don't say that joke. why don't you say a kind word to that sad person over there? And we pretend not to hear him. We're the ones who lose out. It's the ones who turn away Christ who lose out. Yes, he's disappointed, but only because he loves us. Thought for the day, is Christ softly knocking on my door? Listen closely for his inspirations today. Prayer for the day, Jesus, I welcome your birth with joy. I ask pardon for those who do not welcome your birth with joy. Jesus, I welcome your birth with joy. I ask pardon for those who do not welcome your birth with joy. Jesus, I welcome your birth with joy. I ask pardon for those who do not welcome your birth with joy. Thank you.